starting to run and making that decision, it's single-handedly changed my career. It is single-handedly changed my career because it's helped me regain that love for my job that I said I was lacking. I like to see myself as a money bank, okay? Every pound you put into yourself, you're accumulating money. You go to the gym, that's £1. You kind of hit your steps, that's £1. You know, you do your run, that's £1. I want to post this like it was a really big achievement. The fact that obviously I'd gone sub 45 on the 10K, didn't think anything of it. Posted it the next day, wake up, and it's got like 500,000 views. And I was like, what? Gosh, where do I even start? So I guess we'll start with the basics. I'm Tasha. I'm 24, shocks a lot of people, which offends me. People think I'm a bit older. I'm 24, I'm from Bolton. And I have been in the fitness industry pretty much since I was 18. So I've been making fitness content since I was 18, and I became pretty much a full-time coach at 19. So this has been my entire adult life has been the fitness industry pretty much. So I know nothing else. I'm a fitness girly through and through. We've had our ups and downs, but I am basically a hardcore fitness girly.
So starting content at 18, like,
yeah,
why did you start to do that? Because like you say, you're a hardcore fitness girly. You're somebody that's well into it, right? You've always been into it, but why like put it online?
So I don't know where this has come from, but I've always just been obsessed with, like, I guess like social media. It's difficult because I think social media has been a thing since, again, I've been a child. I started on Facebook when I was like 10, which might not be the best thing, but I started on Facebook when I was like 10. I was obsessed with posting on Facebook. I would literally spend my whole, like, I would come back from school and I would literally just be like writing statuses. I would be Skyping my friends. Like, when me and my friends used to like get together, it was when, I think it was called Video Star was a thing,
Okay.
which I guess was kind of like TikTok actually. And we would just make like these silly little like music videos. And when Instagram came around, I started obviously posting on Instagram. And I had a personal page that accidentally blew up. I had one post and it was just like a normal picture, like a mirror selfie that just went completely viral. And I ended up gaining like quite a lot of followers. So I started getting like brand deals when I was like quite young, like 16, 17. You know, and then I guess I just kind of got the momentum from that. And when I found fitness when I was quite young again. I kind of translated that into my posts. I started posting about fitness. However, I think I wanted a separate audience, like a separate little hub for fitness. So I never intended to make fitness a career. My original idea was go to uni, be a corporate girl, or, you know, do whatever. And fitness was my hobby. I just wanted a separate hub for fitness so it didn't get wrapped up in like the Instagram world. And it was private for a long time. It was literally just to document. And then, you know, people were just like giving me such good feedback. I thought, okay, I'll just make it public. And, you know, I was posting my workouts, my food, just like the standard fitness content, like nothing crazy. But over lockdown, it like really took, you know, a little bit of momentum, and people was liking what I was doing. I was posting more and more because I obviously had a lot of time. Again, it was kind of almost like a hobby. It was just my hobby. I loved fitness and I loved posting. I loved creating content. How that's evolved is a bit crazy. Like going from literally posting like selfies, posting pictures of my outfits, my clothes, like considering now all I wear is gym wear, like it's a bit crazy that I started off doing that. But just what started off as posting silly content, I guess, just for my own enjoyment, has actually come full circle twice now, where I've kind of not blown up crazy amounts, but ended up getting this like kind of acceleration from just the most random post. And yeah, it's just like really, really solidified like over the last few years that like I just love creating content. I love putting stuff out there. I love filming. I love posting, which sounds so probably weird, especially to like people who are probably a bit older, don't really get social media. They're probably like, you enjoy posting on social media, but I do. I actually really enjoy posting on social media.
Do you know what's so cool as well is like, you can hear the passion that you actually do love it, but also the fact that you've got basically these two passions in your life that you've kind of had for a very long time, right? Like you
Hmm.
said, you were young when you came to social media, you were young when you came to fitness, and now they both kind of come together in a career. That's a
Hmm.
really cool thing to have because it's that if you love your job, you won't work a day in your life type thing. Like I bet you do kind of feel like that.
Yeah, do you know what? I listened to a podcast a couple of weeks ago and it actually said sometimes people struggle with chasing their passion because they try and make their passion work when it's not working. I think I've always just gone with what I've liked. And luckily, I feel like when I put work into something, I will become good at it, like regardless. Like, and that's been a really, really prominent part of my fitness journey and my career that I know with passion comes talent. So it's like some people will be passionate about something and it won't work because they've either maybe not got the work ethic or, they really want it to work, but it's not quite because they don't really know how to do it. Whereas I think when you've got the knowledge to make something work, the passion to make something work, and the work ethic to make something work, I feel like it's all just kind of fell into
Yeah.
place for me. Like I've always just followed, right, this is what I want to do at this current time. Is it what I want to do in the future? No, it wasn't. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to be a doctor originally, like way back. And am I anything close to a doctor? Like, probably not. But do I have the same kind of principles in what I do that I've always wanted? To help people, to educate people, to inform people, to put stuff out there, to put myself out there, to put my personality out there. Like I always wanted a job where I could be myself. Like my favorite job when I was a kid was working behind a bar because you just could be yourself and there wasn't any, kind of rules. It was just kind of you serve your drinks, you do your job, you have a smile on your face, and that's it. And like I loved that job because I could just be myself. And I think that's why I'm so good at what I do because I'm being myself and I'm doing things that I'm passionate about and good at because I'm passionate about them. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think passion beats talent? Like, because the way you were talking about it there was like almost talent is almost secondary and something that can be built when I
Yeah.
think a lot of time people think talent is like, all right, if you don't have the talent, you can't do it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the opposite way, right?
I think talent comes from like, I almost see talent as like, do you have the minerals to make this work? Do
Okay.
you have the ingrained minerals? Like, I think wholeheartedly. And you know what? This is funny because if we're talking about like running, for example, like I have ran in the past for a long time, but I've also been bad at running at one time in my life because I've not put the effort in. And I think that goes to show, yes, am I a runner? Okay, I grew up running. Does that necessarily mean that once I took the work away, I was a natural runner? No, like no one's naturally just good. Again, I think I've tried things and been shocking and thought it's not for me. Horse riding, dancing, they're not for me. Like I'm shocking and I don't have the dedication to make that work because
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it. With running, with fitness, I thought, right, let's see if I can actually try and make myself good at this. And again, when I put my mind to something, I was literally having this conversation today. I passed my driving test in 3 weeks. If I put my mind to something, I will make it work, but I have to have the desire to make it work. If you don't have the desire, you won't do it. Like you can never find work ethic in places where there is no desire. So I definitely think you have the capability to build talent 100%. But again, like I say, do you have the minerals inside to develop that talent? Like that I think becomes a determining factor.
Yeah. And like, you've put that incredibly well. Like, it's
Thanks.
a really good way. It's a really good way of looking at it. Like, it's almost about that desire of want, right? Like, do you want to do this? Because if you don't want to do it, that's also okay. Like, if you don't want to
Yeah.
do it, don't worry about it. I think sometimes people fall into the trap of like, I have to do this. But it's like then actually
Mhm.
asking the question, but do you actually want to do this?
I think social media does have a massive part to play. And I think I'm quite particular with the way that I put across my journey because I am very big on, I always drill. What do you want to do? Because if you're saying you want to do something because everybody else is doing it, Like, you will fail.
Yeah.
I've jumped on the bandwagon of signing up to things because everybody else was signing up to them, and it'll come to a week before and I'll go, "Ugh, I've not really trained for that." And instead of asking myself why, I've just gone, "Oh, well, I couldn't be bothered." I'm telling you now, couldn't be bothered is not an emotion that I feel. Don't want to is an emotion I feel. And I think that's where people get it twisted. If you want to run, like, you will. And there's been times in the past where I have been so demotivated with fitness and I've thought to myself, why? Like, racking my brain, like, what is going wrong? What is going wrong? And it's just because I think the desire and the focus and the vision, it's just not been there. It's just, I've not had the want and the desire to get better. And I think this time round, like this last year, I have just been crystal clear of every single move and every single decision that I've made with fitness. And it's just meant that people are like, literally like, how are you getting so much better at running? How are you getting so much better at all these things? I'm like, because I'm literally just so focused that, like, right, one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other, like, let's keep going.
What happened this time around then to make it that focused? Like, why did you decide, like, hey, I'm actually going to make this work?
Um, I think not last year, but the year before, I had a very bad sense of loss, loss of sight. I was just like, what I guess people call like imposter syndrome.
Okay.
Not having a clue where I was going in life. I'd kind of burnt myself out really bad with work, didn't really know where I was going with my career. I'd kind of dabbled in like CrossFit, and I absolutely love CrossFit because I've, you know, again, reevaluated it. I think I started CrossFit because it was what I thought I needed to do.
Yeah.
And it was what was the trend. It's so important that I think getting wrapped up in trends can be amazing, but it can be so detrimental because CrossFit was getting big, and the gym that I was going to at the time was like getting really big on Ollie lifting. There was a comp going on, and I really forced myself to overdo it and over train in the areas that I didn't want to. So I love CrossFit. Do I want my entire week to be revolved around it? No. And I've figured that out now. I think I just really, really lost my sense of self massively with fitness, and it really like ruined my mental health badly. Like, I questioned myself every day. I was like, oh my God, should I leave this industry? I was like, I don't enjoy fitness anymore. And it took seeing a picture of myself, right, at a CrossFit comp to literally like break me. Like, I was like, I don't look like myself. I look like a completely different version of myself. You could even see it in my face. Like, I'm always that person on comp pictures that I look happy. I'm like smiling, and just in the comp pictures, it was like my face was just get me out of this place. And I thought, nah, it's not right. Something is not right. I need to strip everything back. And I thought, right, I'll go back to basics. I started off in the fitness industry as like more of a bodybuilder. So I was like, okay, we'll go back to basics. I need to get back in tune with my eating. I need to lose a little bit of weight because I'd put on a lot of weight without even realizing. I need to lose some weight. I need to regain control within my eating. I need to regain control within myself. And I need to focus on getting myself in a good place. I was so caught up with work that I just let myself fall to the back of the priority, that I knew if I didn't sort myself out, there would be no business to go back to, because unfortunately, I am the center of the business. It's a fitness business. If you're not into fitness, you don't love fitness. Unfortunately, people will see that, and people will kind of essentially see that you're not enjoying it, and that rubs off on them. So it's not going to work. So I was like, it's now or never kind of thing. Like, I fix myself and I sort whatever's going on in here, or that's it. Like, I'm done. Like, I have to leave because it's not going to work.
It's so interesting that, because this has happened to a lot of people. It's happened to me over the years as well. Like, when you're super busy and when stuff's going on, very often the thing that slips to the kind of end of the list is that caring about yourself. But then
Hmm.
actually, when you actually think about it, you're like, well, if I'm not caring about myself, like, everything else is going to kind of fall by the wayside anyway. So,
Yeah.
like, I need to make sure that is a priority. It's almost that for some reason, thinking of that as the last priority is totally wrong. That actually needs to be thinking of as like the number one priority, like, care about yourself
Yeah.
first and then everything else comes from there.
I was literally just thinking that then, like, you don't actually realize when people say to us like, oh my God, you've changed my life. It's not because being in good shape is the be all and end all. It's not because being fit is the be all and end all. But when you feel good in yourself, like I can't even explain enough how much it bleeds into every area of your life. Like when I've felt shit about myself, it's reflected. It's reflected in everything. How I am as a person, how I am as a coach. And like I've said this before, like it was noticeably different, the level that my business was growing when I started prioritizing myself. Like when I started undergoing that weight loss journey again, everyone was like, oh my God, like you smashing it, you look amazing, you look so happy, you're thriving. And it's like that literally bleeds. Like it was clearly obvious that something wasn't right because for that many people to notice you're thriving, when people say you're glowing, like it was literally like that. It was like someone had literally taken the mask off of me and just unveiled this new person that I was. And again, I think having that sense of control within yourself, it's just allowed me to really like develop this like bulletproof mindset now that it's like you will gain focus. Like doesn't matter whether you have a bad day, a bad week, as long as that vision is clear, like nothing will get in your way. Like no bad day, no bad week. You will always, always, always bounce back. And I always say this to people, like if you can't have a clear vision of where you're going, you'll lack purpose, you'll lack ambition, you'll lack motivation. Because what's the point? Like literally, what is the point if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you want to do? It is pointless.
It's so important as well, that investment in yourself. I think that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Like how
Mm-hmm.
important it is to invest in you. And not only like time, but I think there's this strange way that we think sometimes with, and I think this is probably just because of social media and kind of like pressures
Mm-hmm.
we put on ourselves, but like spending money, right? And financial investment, take 100 quid a month, right? It's a significant amount of money, obviously, but I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people would go out, and I've got a lot of friends that would go out on a Saturday night, spend 100 quid plus easily, right? They go out, they spend
Yeah.
it, that's that.
Easy done.
Yeah, so easy. If you told somebody that your gym was £150 a month or £100 a month, they'd look at you like you were mad. Like a lot of people would, but you're like,
Mm-hmm.
hang on, the gratification that you will get from that over an
Mm-hmm.
incredibly amount, like a much longer period of time
Mm.
compared to the gratification you're going to get from going out. In fact, that's going to hurt you. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
detrimental to you. Is like it's polar opposite, isn't it? So it's kind of
Yeah.
like that reframing of that, I think, sometimes too.
And you know what? I think people think that, well, I want to enjoy life. I want to enjoy life. And don't get me wrong, you can enjoy life regardless. Yeah. Again, I've always said this, you don't need to be in good shape to enjoy life if you're happy, whatever. However, again, I feel much more satisfied to go out and enjoy myself when I know that come Monday morning, I've got a purpose. Like I've got something to kind of live for. Like it sounds so cliche, but it's like I know when I was working 9 to 5 and I was in this kind of like rut, um, for like the 6 months of my adult life or whatever it was before I started the fitness industry, like it just felt like I was living for the weekend. And I understand 100% why people do end up getting in this cycle of going out so much. But again, I've had such a big stint of working. Like I work really hard. Like that's not to like blow smoke at my own ass. I work really hard. And I have been to Ibiza, right? I've just come back 5 days and I've spent an absolute fortune, right? But I feel like in Ibiza, like I've earned this holiday. Like I can enjoy myself because I've worked so hard all year to be able to kind of have that downtime. And this is a thing that I talk about with my clients all the time. And it's push and pull. You need to understand, right? Okay, the vision's in the future. At what points in our life do we push towards that goal? And what time do we kind of, you know, chill? Because the reason why people end up yo-yoing is because they go boom, 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 boom. No, if you actually have, again, a clear roadmap, when are we pushing? When are we pulling? Like I literally strategically plan my holidays. I strategically plan my training blocks. I know when I'm doing what because it helps me not bounce back and
Yeah.
forth yo-yoing because that's what I was doing for a very long time because I didn't have that vision of like oh, right, okay, well, I've dieted for 4 weeks. I feel all right. Done now. It's, no, right, okay, so we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. And it just allows you to feel like you have that purpose and that drive, so that when you do go out and you do enjoy yourself, you don't end up feeling rubbish for 2 weeks because you're just like, oh, and then you want to go out again because you want to make yourself feel better. And then it's just this horrible cycle that I was in for a long, long time when I was younger. And until you kind of break that, and again, like I say, regain that control, it will end up just making you feel miserable.
It's small movements as well. Like you mentioned yo-yoing there, right? They're big swinging movements, right? From one side to the other.
Yeah.
And if you're just pushing and pulling, just a little bit here and there, like you're
Mm.
like, okay, it's much easier to get back to that point. And I bet like coming back from Ibiza, you were probably buzzing to get back to
Oh,
it.
mate,
Like
this
I
morning in
bet you
work, I'm
couldn't
like, oh my
wait.
God, I feel like a new person. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just glad to be like back in routine. I feel really motivated. I feel really inspired. Like, we've had really successful last couple of months. Like, I've literally come back on such a high. And I know now, right, in my head, okay, I've got September, October, November, push, right? It's work hard, train hard, let's go. December, I can afford then again to take a little bit of a step back, enjoy my Christmas because I've put all this work in. But the problem is, again, why people end up constantly feeling like they're starting again is because they are just doing this back, forth, back, forth. Oh, but I want to enjoy myself. But then I'm locked in, but then I want to enjoy myself. And it's like, you can't keep like playing tennis with yourself. You have to understand like real change long term requires change to be able to, like say, like gain this kind of freedom and gain these like rights almost to be able to have like these guilt-free moments. Because I know a lot of people that go out a lot probably will at some point feel guilty. I never feel guilty. I never feel guilty about going out. I don't feel guilty about going to Ibiza. I don't feel guilty about spending all that money because I know on the flip side, I'm spending thousands of pounds on mentorship, coaching, the gym, my health, my well-being. I'm getting, my blood's done to make sure my health is in check. Like all these things that I'm putting into my health bank and my personal bank that, we can afford to spend a little bit of it on having a good time. Do you know what I mean?
Health bank is a really interesting phrase. Like, is that something you've put in place like
Yeah,
strategically? Is that something you've
I
thought of?
genuinely like from a non like physical perspective as well. It's another phrase that I've used for years in my career now in terms of like money bank. Like I like to see myself as a money bank, okay? Every pound you put into yourself, you're accumulating money. Like you go to the gym, that's a pound. You kind of hit your steps, that's a pound. You do your run, that's a pound. And if you are putting pounds in every day, just £1, yeah, you don't need to put 10 in, one. If you take two out by going on a night out, you take two out by going out drinking, you've still got all the accumulation of the pounds that you've put in. But if you're putting £1 in every 2 weeks and then taking three out, then you're not going to get very far, are you? And I think it's a really good way of putting it because then when you're doing your non-negotiables, you're like, yeah, you're right. Because I think a lot of people struggle with yo-yo because they think about all or nothing, trying to put £10 in. I've not got £10 to put in. Put one in then. Put two. You don't need 10. You need one.
Yeah. It's a really good way of looking at consistency, isn't it? And like,
Yeah,
I,
consistency. Perfect. Yeah.
it's so key. Like we've talked about that loads on the podcast, and I think as well, like I've thought of something quite similar when it comes to like if you're training for a big race or a big goal or whatever, and it's that idea of putting money in the bank, and then when you've got enough, you can make a withdrawal, and that withdrawal is then
Yes.
the race or the competition or whatever, and that's the thing that you've been putting the money in for. But again, as you say, if you don't put that money in
Mm-hmm.
or you withdraw money, then at that goal point, you're just not going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to reach what you thought you were going to be able to reach, which again, I
Yeah.
think is a really nice way of kind of looking at consistency and saying, if you want to get to this point, and again, that word want, if you really want to do it,
Yeah.
you
One.
need to
Yeah.
be committed to that process.
Yeah. And do you know what? Specifically to running, like in the past, I've just not been in it. My head's not been in it. I've been 1 foot in, 1 foot out, never really properly committed until this year. I did a high rocks a couple of years ago, right? And I I did not do what I should have done, and it felt horrendous. I remember finishing it, and I actually came third that year, which is shocking because the time that I got then would probably be about 30th. But I just felt awful. And again, I even got third and I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel accomplished. I felt like an imposter. Like I just felt horrific. I thought, wow, that was awful. And I remember I took a lot of time off, kind of racing, competing, and I just put the money in. I said, do you know what? I cannot keep expecting to be good at things if I'm not putting the effort in, because again, I'd put loads of effort into my Olympic lifting and my CrossFit and I was getting pretty good, but I thought it's not clicking the way that it used to. And I think doing that High Rocks where I didn't do that well, I thought, no, do you know what? I feel the motivation to be better. I thought, wow, like I get why people get really addicted to this stuff. Like this is sick. And I went away and I put the money in, and I remember I came back the season after and everyone was literally like, how in the hell have you took so much time off? And it was just because I'd just been consistent. I never did anything crazy. People was asking me for my running programs and all. Honestly, the only thing I did, I just ran. I just started running. And that is, honestly, when anybody asks me advice about running, I'm like, just start. Yeah. Like I was doing nothing. Like, yeah, when you get to the top end, you start to get a little bit faster. Obviously, I've had to put in a little bit of extra kind of work, a little bit of extra structure. But for the most part, a lot of it was just building my base, getting out on those runs, doing 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. And slowly, I was just getting faster and faster and faster and faster. So now to the point where people are literally like, when the heck did this girl get so good at running? I'm like, I don't even know. I've just literally just been running. I'm like, I've just been running.
If you want to get better at anything, the easiest way to get better at anything is just doing that thing, right? And I think that's exactly what you're saying, right? It's like you just went away and you just ran. And yeah, it is important that like down the line, there is structure put into stuff. And sometimes maybe, and I've definitely fallen foul to this, maybe you get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm just going to keep running. And actually you've reached that plateau of like, you're not going to get any better without structure. But in the short term, it's like, you want to get better at it, just do it. It's so interesting when you were talking about kind of regression earlier on as well. And now we're talking about progression. And the word humbling is very often like used as a negative thing. And that's what running does, right? It humbles you, right? It humbles you. If you don't do it, you regress and you're humbled. But at the same time, it can humble you the other way, in the positive way. It could be humbling that you've done all this work and it actually comes to fruition.
So that's funny because I think the reality for me was, are you not running because you're not good at it? And I actually think I took a really hard look at myself and thought, you're not doing it because you know you're bad. And therefore, I would rather go and do a 1 rep max back squat because I know that's easy for me now. Like it's my bread and butter. I love strength training. Like it's been my, rock for a while. I was scared to step away. I was scared to leave my comfort zone, even though I knew what I was currently doing it just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. I was doing the same thing day in, day out, squatting, deadlifting. I was bored and I wasn't fulfilled. And I remember, like I said, that High Rocks, I signed up to it like on a whim. And even though it was so humbling, I thought, wow, like this could really be something that I could challenge myself and get better at. And I think that the humbling of it pushed me. Again, the same as seeing that photo of me where I just looked horrendous. It's like a reality check. Like, right, no, you can get better. You have this thing where you're maybe not that good at, or you're maybe not feeling the best. Instead of wallowing in that and being like, oh, well, I'll never get better. I'm just so bad at running. Like I used to say I was bad at running forever. I did the Manchester 10K and that was probably the first time I ever said, oh, maybe I am actually not that bad at running. Like, because it was just one of those where again, the hard work that I put in just every single week, I never felt like, oh yeah, I've got a fast 10K in me. I just kept doing the sessions. I was doing like 1 or 2 interval sessions and like 1 long run easy run. That was it. And every week it was like, running, like it never gets easier. The paces just kind of get faster, and you never feel like I'm getting better because I'm like, oh my God, it still feels so hard. And then the 10K happened and I thought, oh, wow. I was like, that was actually a good time. It was really good. And I thought, okay, it's working. Let's go. Let's try and see, how fast I can actually take this. And that was when I did the first run through at Media City, and I did the 10K. And, I remember, like, I asked ChatGPT, I was like, do you think I can get a sub 45? And ChatGPT was like, yeah, of course you can. And I was like, okay. So I was like, right, okay, let's have a think. Let's have a think if I can actually do this. We'll put together a little bit of a plan. Obviously, the plan went out the window. I just basically sent it from the offset and just held on for as long as I could. And then when I got that sub 45, I thought, like, this is a really good time. And then again, like, I posted it on Instagram and it really solidified to me, like, yeah, that is a good time. People was commenting on it like, wow, that is so fast. Like, you're amazing. It was like really nice, positive feedback. And I thought, I'm getting praise for running. I thought, wow, like, this is not ever something that, like, I thought would be in my future. But it just goes to show, like, again, I wanted to get better and I put the work in, and it's that, like I say, that clear vision, like, no, you're going to get better at running. Like, I'm really dedicated to this. I really want this for myself. And I've found so much joy in running now that it just brings me that sense of accomplishment every single session, no matter how hard it is. Every session I feel good, every single one.
And that's so important. And it's one of those things that you will constantly be learning at, and everyone is constantly learning at. And when you were talking about stepping away from something you were quote unquote good at to something you were quote unquote bad at, that's so hard to do, isn't it? Because you're like, I could just keep doing this because I kind of find this easy. But you've done the thing that a lot of people don't do, which is being like, I'm going to attack this thing that's quite hard, which is probably why you're at the point you're at, right? And you're doing what you're doing because you'll attack those hard things.
I think that's a good point as well, because I've done a couple of posts about this. People see, like, racing, competing, like, they see it as a little bit silly, I think, sometimes. If you're not in that kind of world, I guess. I know people will be like, why are all these freaks, like, spending their evenings and their weekends going racing and competing? But I think the more experience that you have with, you can never explain the hole that you get in when you compete in. You can train as hard as you want. Nothing will, like, simulate a race. Like, the adrenaline, the anxiety, like, it just takes you to another level. And I think people literally refer to me as, like, I'm a different person when I'm, like, in a race, or I'm a different person when I'm competing, because I literally will just go until my wheels fall off. Like, I don't have that, hold back. I'm literally like, right, I will go until the wheels fall off. And I think the more you can do that, the more that you get good at pushing yourself to those places, the more that you can push yourself in training, so the better that you actually become at racing. And again, I think racing holds such a good place and an important place in my journey, because it just helps me stay focused, stay dedicated. I don't even necessarily say that I use them as, like, a training point. I use them as, like, a benchmark. How good are we at the moment? Is our training working? Am I getting faster? If the answer is yeah, great. Let's keep on doing what I'm doing. And I think until I stop getting faster, until I stop doing better and feeling like I'm progressing, I don't need to change anything. Like, people overcomplicate it so much, and it's like, I will just keep going and keep doing what I'm doing until I'm not getting any faster. And then I'll pivot and I'll probably change something. But I think the kind of balance that I've got right now is really great. I'm doing a little bit of strength training, a little bit of CrossFit, a little bit of running, and that has literally been just game changing for me. Like, it's just kind of brought every single piece of my fitness journey together. All the years that I've trained, all the years that I've spent getting strong, getting, fit, getting, in good shape. It's kind of like all of it's really come together now. And I just feel like really fulfilled and satisfied with my journey, because I think I've kind of like not ticked every box, but I feel like I'm covering everything, and I feel happy and I feel like I'm enjoying everything.
Benchmarks can be so important as well, because you can't cheat them. Like, if you're going to go and run a 5K and you're going to go do a 5K TT or whatever, it's like, that is going to tell you exactly where you're at. Or if you're going to go and do a 1 rep max in the gym, that is going to tell you exactly where you're at. And like, no matter how you try and convince yourself that something might be wrong or this happened or that happened, it's like,
Mhm.
maybe occasionally that could be an argument, but most of the time that benchmark is that benchmark, and that's
Yeah.
okay, and you just need to move from there.
That's so interesting that you say that, because back to what you said about humbling, I think people will refrain from competing or
100%.
refrain
100
from pushing
like,
themselves
I
for
wouldn't
the
wanna go and get
embarrassment.
under a bench right now, right? I just wouldn't because I I know it
God,
would
I
be
haven't done bench in
rubbish.
so long.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, I just as an example, like, I know that if I got under a bench right now, like, I used to
Yeah,
play a lot of rugby, and
yeah.
I don't do that now, and I haven't been in the gym doing that, like, sort of strength work for a very long time. I'd be like, it'd be terrible, and I know in my heart that I wouldn't wanna do that, but it's like, I think sometimes accepting that that is the reason why you don't wanna do it is that's okay too.
Yeah, like, again, I think sometimes it is the realization, like,
Yeah,
do I not wanna do this because I'm scared, or do I not wanna do this because I just don't have the desire? And I think a lot of the time, people, well, we're humans, it's natural, like, we will refrain from things that we're scared of, and I think I try to do that as little as possible, like,
okay,
with anything. If a decision scares me, I'm like, "This is probably the right decision." Like, because I think if you don't put yourself in those positions, you'll never know. Like, if I don't go till the wheels fall off, I'll never know where that point is. If I don't pivot something and change something, I'll never know. Again, if I hadn't have took that leap and said, "Right, okay, let's try and get better at running," like, I will, it sounds cliche, like, starting to run and making that decision, it's single-handedly changed my career. It is single-handedly changed my career because it's helped me regain that love for my job that I said I was lacking. It's obviously helped me generate a community that really value, like, who I am and what I do, because again, like I say, I'm not a runner or a CrossFitter or a bodybuilder. I am literally me, and I do what I want when I want. I love fitness. I don't shut anything off. I'll try anything. I'll do anything. I've just signed up to a backyard ultra in May.
sure, love
I
it.
haven't ran longer than half marathon before, but I'm gonna give it a good go, and again, I won't know what my breaking point is until I go there and do that. Will I get 5 laps? I don't know. Will I get 9? Will I get 10? I don't know, but then at least once I've done it, I'll know, and I'll have that benchmark of, like, that's how much you can push yourself. That's how far your mind will take you, um, and I will always take it to the place it can go and as far as it can go, before I give up. Like, genuinely, like, watching that backyard ultra, I thought, wow, like, these people, like, they're crazy. But I thought, I want to be that crazy. I want to do
Yeah.
that.
It's like you've got this identity of somebody that loves fitness, but then there's all these little kind of sub brands as well, which is so nice because it's sometimes people I think um, maybe try and solidify their identity a little bit too close to one certain thing when actually like you can do
Yeah.
what you're doing and be good at a lot of things, but also enjoy a lot of things. You don't
Yeah.
have to be like, I only do this. I'm only a CrossFitter. It's like, nah, you don't
Yeah.
have to do that.
100%. That is so funny because I think, yeah, you can get certain areas of fitness where, again, like you say, they will revolve a lot of their identity around that one particular
Yeah.
thing. But I think it just makes you so close-minded, like it did for me in the past. I think shutting off running, like, it's like, I could never do that. I think it just hindered me more than anything. And I think it's so funny. If you looked at my followers, like, I've got bodybuilders that follow me and respect me because obviously they understand that it takes dedication to be in good shape. They respect that. I've got high roxers that follow me that love high rocks and they love what I do because, again, I love high rocks. I've got CrossFitters that follow me and think that my lifting's amazing, like my technique's amazing. If you look at some of my reels, there's a 5K in there, a 10K, a high rocks, an ollie lift, a comp, a CrossFit comp, like me getting in shape, me doing a photo shoot. And it's like, I know they say, like, you should potentially just focus on one thing. And, like, I get every moment in your life and every phase, like I said about the roadmap, has its place. However, if you pinpoint yourself and, like, put yourself in a box and in a hole, I think you will really struggle with an identity crisis at some point. Because imagine if you fully go into bodybuilding and some bodybuilders, they absolutely live and breathe the sport and they always will, and I love that. I love the dedication that comes with any sport. But if it comes a point where you do fall out of love with that sport, you're like, oh well, now what? Like, now what is there for me now? And I think I just know I love to move, and I love to move in loads of different ways at this point in my life. Will at some point I maybe just go back to CrossFit? Who knows? But at least I know I've done that and I've been there, and I've kind of got the minerals to do that. I can essentially pivot as much as I want. Like, the one thing that I do know I really didn't enjoy when I was younger was dancing. I'm not a dancer. I'm not a dancer. I feel like I always thrived in like football. I did rugby when I was younger, like the more power sports. So I feel like that's why maybe the gym has really found its place with me. That I've always kind of loved that energetic kind of thing.
We mentioned Media City with the 10K. I do want to touch on the 5K as well, because you ran
Mhm.
21:16, was it, at
Y-
Media City in July?
Yeah,
Um,
which I think
and
is quite good.
yeah, it's really good, really, really good. And you put a video up on Instagram, and
Mhm.
that would have been responsible for a lot of these runners following you, I'm sure, because
Yeah,
I think
100%, yeah.
last time I looked, it was like 4.5 million views, which is unbelievable. Like,
It's
it's just gone
actually
completely
five and a
crazy.
half now.
Is it 5.5 now? Oh my goodness. I think I only
It's
looked
had
like a couple
another
of weeks
it's had
ago.
another blow up. It's had like a
Mad.
second wave almost, like the last kind of couple of days. So it's going up fast. I have no idea what I did on that video, what I put into that video. But yeah, like I said, it has been a bit of a breakthrough for me. Like, it's really kind of shot me forward into like the running space, and I'm genuinely so grateful for that. But again, we love making content. Like, we genuinely had no expectations from that video. We filmed the entire race. It's on YouTube. Both races are on YouTube. We filmed the entire race. I just took the finishing point because I thought it was so wholesome on the 10K, because the pacer that was with us the entire time, he was so motivating. And he was just so wholesome that I thought, I want to post this. Like, it was a really big achievement. The fact that obviously I'd gone sub 45 on the 10K, didn't think anything of it. Posted it the next day, wake up, and it's got like 500,000 views. And I was like, what? I was like, what the hell? So I'd be lying if I didn't say we wanted to do it again. We thought, right, well, we'll just replicate the video. We'll just
Yeah.
replicate the video. And I replicated the video, obviously, for the 5K. And just obviously 5x the time that obviously the 10K did. It just completely blew up. Don't get me wrong, there's some not very nice comments on there, but more for them, because it's just pushing me more to people
Yeah.
that want to see my content and want to see about my fitness journey. And I think even runners that have followed me still really love what I do. Again, the fact that I'm not just a runner. And I think that's why it probably gets a lot of traction, because there was a lot of comments. You don't look like a runner. You're quite big build for a runner. You have massive legs. You have big legs. She never skips leg day. Look at like her big legs. Look at the fact that she's got big glutes. And it's like, I think people are like shocked by that. Like, I shouldn't look how I do, or I should be slower than I am, or whatever. But it's like, I think that just goes to show again, you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't look like I should be fast. Realistically, I'm big build. Like, if you see me, I've got big arms, big traps, big back, like big legs. But ultimately, I think that's actually played to a lot of my strength. The fact that I've got the strength in my legs, that all I needed was the endurance, and all I needed was to be able to run. And it's actually helped me massively, because as I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger, I'm getting faster and faster and faster and faster.
The pigeonhole point that you've made a couple of times is so important as well for people that, you know, maybe are listening to this and thinking to themselves, I am not a runner, or I am not a CrossFitter,
Yeah.
or I am not
Mm,
somebody that's worthy to go to the gym. It's like every single person, if you want to do the thing, you should do the thing.
mhm.
Like, it literally doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, where you're from, what your sex is. Like, it literally doesn't matter. If you want to do it, innit?
And I think that video is actually a good representation of like, no matter what you do, there'll always be, you know, people who are, are like just rude about anything. People will always hate on anything. Like, you can be doing the best in the world. You can be the best footballer in the world. You can be the best runner in the world. People will still hate on you anyway. So I think that that was a big thing for me, letting go of that. Like, who cares if I look slow? Who cares if I lose? Who cares if I don't do well? And I think, again, them humbling moments are pivotal. The times where I've done bad, the times where I've felt not so good about myself have actually, I think, pushed me further than the times where I've felt good, because I know I have more in me. I have more for myself than this. And I think that the more that you get comfortable with, being scared of what people will think or what people will say, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, or I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, respectfully, like, my first 5K time was when I was in lockdown, when I tried to run, obviously, because I couldn't go to the gym. And I couldn't run 2 minutes without stopping. I think my first 5K that I did was about 40 minutes. And I wasn't getting below 30 for a very, very, very long time. And again, putting in the work, like closing in on like a 20-minute 5K, which I will do, by the way, I will go sub 20, is the fact that that's even something that would come out of my mouth. Like, if I told 18-year-old me, you will run a sub 20-minute 5K, putting that into universe, she would literally be like, what? Like, this bodybuilder girl that just started the gym, she was hip thrusting like 5 million sets a week. Like, she would be like, you run? What? Why? Why are you doing that? But I think, again, it just goes to show not everybody's born with talent. Like, I'm not born a runner. Like, do you think I came out of the womb and just started running off? No, like, I didn't.
Love to see it.
I have put in the work, and I've done the sessions. I've been on the track in the rain. I've ran home from Tesco. Literally, it was raining, and I remember I made Liam drop me off at Tesco so that I wouldn't back out of the run and go like 1K out and then think, no, I'll just come back. So I literally made him drop me off at Tesco, because I was like, if he drops me off, I have to run home. And those are the sessions that people don't see. People, I think, assume what they see is what they get. And sometimes the work that we do in silence, people don't realize. And then you come out of the woodworks and you do something incredible like a 21-minute 5K, and people go, well, how the hell have you done that?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the same way that everybody else is doing. I don't feel the need to constantly be like, I'm a runner, I'm a runner, I'm a runner. So people will always tag me with that. Like, well, I didn't think you was a runner. I don't need to be. I'm just running. I don't need to be a runner.
And you know what? That's probably a really nice place to wrap this up, because I think with that video, a lot of people will have seen you through a screen, right? They will have seen that video. They will have seen the videos of you competing, of you modeling, of you doing 1,000,001 things, right? But they don't see the person behind those videos, the hard work that gets put in behind every single facet of what you do in your life. But I think that's a very good message to send as well, that like, you do have to put that work in behind the scenes to be able to have these moments on the surface, don't you?
And it's not easy. People, I think, will assume it's easy. It never gets easier. Like, you just get stronger. Like, things get easier because you get stronger. The pressures I feel now, oh my God, would have killed me when I was 17, 18. But you build that resilience by doing hard things. And people never assume anyone has it easy. People who are doing amazing things will have it hard. Do not assume that people have it easy, because I try to be my best. And when emphasis on try, because I try and try and try and try and try. And that is all you can do. That's all I can ever ask of myself, is I do the work that needs to be done. I'm ticking a box. I'm showing up, and I know and I trust that it will pay off. And other people should definitely just take that if you do put it in, you will get the result. There's never any doubt of that. There's never any doubt that you won't get the payoff that you deserve.